What's the biggest lesson you've either learnt in general or about yourself?
Oh, like I can do so much more. Like, yeah.
That this is literally like not even touching the surface of what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Like there's just so much more. And then also the biggest lesson learned is that, like our strength in our relationship.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Like, that's been awesome.
Yeah. I feel like if we can get through this, we can get through anything.
Yeah. But yeah, just the ability to know that there's so much more that you can give. And it's just like, I never thought I'd do half of what I did. And then I'm like, oh, but there's more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
Would you do anything different next time? I know I would.
What's that?
Not get you to like 95 kilos.
Yeah.
And maybe not go to Europe before it.
Yeah.
So I had to push your body weight so high to get all that progress back.
Yeah, no, I think during the prep, probably, I don't think there's really much else I would do differently. Maybe like the only thing I think moving forward is like, I just want to set my life up in a way that allows me to live the lifestyle. Like, you know, obviously making the transition online is going to like
help,
complement that. And just like, I think I just want to live in a way where it just complements the lifestyle. That's the only thing I'd probably do differently.
Yeah. What about you, Kayla?
I would have to agree as well. Like, I think it showed me that I can still look after my goals and pursue my goals whilst also managing other people's. But I was like, also would like to be able to put more time, more effort into my own goals in the future. And like, especially if the goals are getting bigger and a little bit more serious as well. Like, I want to be able to give that everything, and getting a little bit more time back on my hands will allow me to do so.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, we really pushed it.
Yeah, I know there's so much more though. Great leading question. So what's next? What do we got next on the horizon for everyone? What are you thinking about?
I'm going to step on stage myself next year.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. Like,
yeah,
I think being like next to him during his prep, and like even watching the show days and like seeing all of them, like, yeah, that's something I want to do. Which some other people probably think like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? But like, I think I can see myself doing really well in it.
It's been a pretty calculated decision. You know, you watched, like, I made sure that you, like, even when Reese competed, I was like, watch the girls.
Yeah.
Have a look and get an idea. We've done a cut and a photo shoot prep now. Mm-hmm. So we need to push maybe another 6 weeks after what we just did and turn the intensity up slightly. But there's a lot of proof that's been stacked, and then you have immersed yourself into this season backstage with Jacko and me, seeing the decisions we've made. You were there with us, like, you know, upstairs when we're running rounds and all that stuff. So you've got a really good inside sports on just like everything that's involved, and you know you can do it too.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was worried, but I was like, I think being there on show day, I was like, this is going to kind of determine, like, is this right for me? And I'm like, yeah, I can definitely do that.
You got like a cheat code almost.
Doesn't help, like, I'm being like,
yeah,
you can beat her.
That helps as well.
I'm always like, this one got this. I think you can do this. I just believe in you, man. I just believe in you.
I think it's good because, like I've said before as well, like, I didn't quite understand, like, the look as well. Like, I'm like who do I look like? What do I look like?
Yeah, where do I fit in?
Where do I fit in this sense? And being around it the last few weekends, I'm like, okay, I can.
Yeah, even just watching her like sit there, and then she's just like, yeah, I could do this. Like, I think the last show, she's like, yeah, I've got that covered.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So it's cool. It's good. It's a nice evolution. What about you, bro? What's next?
We'll take some time off to grow.
Yeah.
And then we'll go again 2026.
Yeah. Mission tag.
Have you set a date?
I'd assume it'd be this time of year next year.
Yeah, so we'll just it'll be roles reversed, but I will still be there.
Yeah.
And we're multiple shows again. I really would recommend anyone who competes for the first time to just like have a good run of shows. I'd
want to do multiple shows again.
Yeah, you would recommend that, right? Like, because I feel like you really came into your own like that second and third time, and it was like monkey off your back for the first one. And I get it. Some people like that's enough for them. Yeah, but I know, like, just watching you and watching Gemma and watching JT, like, the second time around and the third time, like, it was just, I could feel a different energy from all of you. Yeah. It was still fun. Everything's fun the whole time but I could just tell you guys were enjoying the day better.
Yeah, well, it's also like you know that, okay, you get the tan the night before, you
all of the stuff.
You do the carb up, you got to bring the food, you got to do that. It's just like it's just more natural.
Yeah.
Whereas like, from traveling from Sydney to Brisbane to bring the food, you're like, okay, we did this already. It's like where the first time you're like, oh, I need this much cream of rice and I need this much honey, and whereas like, no, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And what would you both say to somebody who's thinking about either booking the photo shoot or dipping their toes in for the contest prep stuff?
Do it.
Yeah, fucking do it.
Yeah, and then find the right coach.
Yeah,
Find
absolutely.
the right coach. I'd start with a photo shoot first and then go into...
Yeah, and just know, this is going to sound very like mindset-y, but know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like because if I didn't have that, I would have stopped.
Yeah.
It's the first thing on the checklist whenever I've done a lot of consults in the last 3 weeks of people who are like, either a client who's thinking about it or a person who's jumping on board because of it. And the first question I ask is just like, what are the motivating reasons?
Because the reality is the show day is fun.
Yeah.
But that's just one
You
piece.
can't sit there and go, I saw someone else do it and now I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not enough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
you
it
need
needs
that
to be
like authentic goal there.
It
Like,
needs to just match your values, man. Like
Yeah,
you need to,
100%.
because this is nothing that's going to get you out of bed when you don't have that spring, like you spoke about, and like when you are feeling the doubt and the lack of energy. You're like, this is part of who I am.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's like even just like missing out on the meals. It's when you don't have the spring and you still need to, like even just like when we traveled, like I brought my supplements everywhere. Like it's just shit like that. It's like that's the difference between making it and not, because you're still bringing a food scale interstate. You know, like it's that stuff that you got to really think about. It's like, are you prepared to do all that?
We're booking a hotel with
A
the
kitchen. Yeah.
close to a Woolies, close to the
venue,
convention center, so we can walk there. Like, there's so many little finer details to consider.
And then willing to put up the extra finances for that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even just being able to say no to the things that other people care about and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like I know in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you do. I don't care what I'm missing out on, because I'm like, I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the results that I want, and it doesn't actually bother me one single bit. And it's like that mindset only comes when you have something that means so much to you. Like, is if you do go, I've seen you've done great and I'm going to try it. As soon as it gets tough, as soon as it gets, you get put in a situation that's going to push that, motivation and that feeling, you're just going to crumble.
Yeah. Because even my family, like, we're like, respectively, they're like, we're just not going to invite you to the next few events for the next couple of weeks. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But like, that's what I was doing. That's just what I was prepared to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll see you guys after when I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And shredded.
Yeah. So you'd absolutely throw yourself in.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's all I have. You got anything else?
No, that's good.
Thanks for coming on, guys. That was really good.
No,
it was
it
a
was
nice
awesome.
little
Thank you for
inside
having
sports
us.
on both of your situations.
Yeah.
Tremendous athletes, great mindsets, put a lot of work in.
Thank you.
There's a lot of groundwork that goes
Appreciate
into
it.
these end outcomes, and these guys are literally a representation of, kind of what it takes to get the results you want, to have choice on like how you want your physique to look and perform.
So refreshing. We've spoken about it before, like in the past, about referencing people that this is actually a sport for.
Yeah.
And that some people do it for validation, for Instagram, for whatever it is. And they're the ones that come out the other side and just like, oh, look, competing's just not for me. Or worse, they're like, competing's so bad for your mental health. And you have two people sitting here that are just like, I got fucking heaps out of it. It showed me that I can do more in business, in life, my relationship's better, and I've got the physique to boot, and I did something really hard.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing to see that in the physique world.
Yeah, but it's I'd say it's like going after the hot girl just because she's hot.
Yeah.
Like, there's no values tied to it, and it's like, oh, it was a toxic relationship. It's like, of course it fucking was. Like, you guys had nothing in common but pure attraction.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with bodybuilding. If you're going into it with the idea of it just looks attractive, you're going to come out a very bad person.
Yeah.
And you won't get the most out of it.
Yeah, agreed.